What would you do if you accidentally killed your kid? You would never be able to live with yourself. Everybody thinks they're invincible until it happens to them. And those are just not problems that you want to have. Hi, my name is Sasha. Welcome to my channel. You might as well grab you something to drink because it's about to get messy. Am I the asshole for having an intervention about my husband's parenting? We have a 10-week-old baby. Husband, 28 mil, absolutely adores him and wants to spend every available moment with him. I know he wants to be an amazing father. However, he engages in unsafe behaviors like falling asleep on the couch while baby is in contact napping, leaving baby on the playmat unattended while the dog is in the room, or putting baby for a day nap with his bib still on. Husband claims I'm too anxious, making a big deal out of nothing. Baby can't roll yet, and the dog won't hurt him. He holds baby firmly while sleeping, etc. And I admit I don't react calmly and freak out, which makes him act defensive, but he is being unsafe and it stresses me out. I feel like I can't leave him alone with the baby, which only offends him more. Last week I had enough. I asked my mother-in-law and sister-in-law to talk to him. They took my side and ripped him a new one. My husband is now angry that I brought him into it and made a whole intervention like he's such a bad dad. Am I the asshole for insisting my husband changes how he acts around the baby and involving his family? So I know I was reading that, like my whole disposition changed. And that's because, one, I care for kids. Two, my first job, I was a babysitter. So, and I've been CPR trained since I was like in middle school. My first job where they were paying me, it might have been my second job. I think it was my second job. I worked at a daycare in the infant room. And the husband thinks that she's being anxious and overreacting until something bad happens. And now that I think about it, I am forever grateful that nothing bad ever happened while I was working in the infant room at the daycare. If I recall, the only thing I think did happen is one of the babies ended up having like a burn on their finger, and it looked like it could have been like a burn from a seatbelt. We still to this day don't know what happened, but I've heard some horror stories. I had a friend growing up. She was watching her little cousin for her older cousin, and the baby just passed away in the crib. Like, the baby didn't suffocate or anything. And I believe like she was under investigation because the baby was in her care. But thank God by that time they knew what SIDS was. But co-sleeping with a baby that young, leaving the baby on the ground while the dog is roaming around, like everybody thinks they're invincible until it happens to them. And those are just not problems that you want to have. Like, I know a couple of weeks ago, there was this story about the dad. This is the first time the little girl had slept over at his house. She might have been like 2 or 3. I don't know if this was like a new place or if they were just, getting their relationship right, or he had just gotten some kind of custody. But he had 1 or 2 pit bulls in the crate. The baby was sleeping on the couch. Those dogs mauled that baby to death. And the dad is the asshole. That's who the asshole is in the story. Because, I mean, you love your kid. What are you gonna do when something happens? Like, once they're gone, there's nothing you can do. You do realize that, right? Right. Do better. Oh my God. Not the asshole. Your husband is the asshole. Exactly. He's doing dangerous things that could genuinely kill the baby. Safe co-sleeping does not exist with anyone but the breastfeeding parent for the first few months. Even then, you need to set up a space following the Safe Sleep 7. Not familiar with what that is. I'm sick of men not educating themselves on this and forcing you to do the labor of finding sources to teach him how to be a parent when you yourself are new to it too. And then he doesn't even listen to you. I would be livid. Girl, me too. Me too. If he isn't willing to educate himself, he has to default to your knowledge. He doesn't get a say in any decisions if he's not knowledgeable about anything. Yeah, I get it. The next person said, we have an attached bedside crib. Husband is perfectly safe sleeping on the bed when baby is next to him in the crib within reach. I just don't want him sleeping during a couch contact nap. That's what the OP said. So, yeah, he tripping. Cause you killed my baby. I'm going, you. It's gonna be slow singing and flower bringing, fooling with me. Like, yeah, I would do what this person said. Gather up all the news of people accidentally smothering their infant in anything SIDS related. For those of you who don't know what SIDS is, let me tell y'all. So SIDS is sudden infant death syndrome, and nobody knows what the cause of it is. And I've heard stories of parents, like, think about it. You carry this baby for 9 months and then they're 3 or 4 months old and they're just gone. Like, they're gone. And I mean, there's a few things that they said could potentially contribute to it. It could be the position that they're sleeping in, their sleep environment, exposure to smoke. That's another thing. As an adult, really, all my life, I could never really handle cigarette smoke. Like, I literally cannot handle cigarette smoke. Like, one time, I was over my cousin's house, hadn't seen her in a while, and she braids hair, and my sister was getting her hair braided. So we sitting there, we talking, and I couldn't really breathe, but it's just like, we kicking it, we talking. I haven't, seen you in a while. Don't y'all know the next day I had a sinus infection? Like, I really think I'm allergic to cigarette smoke. Like, I don't really care for smoke in general. Like, I can handle other types of smoke, but cigarettes, no. So me as an adult, if I can't handle that, what do you think that's doing to a baby? Exactly. Let's think logically about this thing. Let's see. Other vulnerabilities, like being born prematurely, having a low birth weight, having a sibling who died of SIDS increases the risk of SIDS. Social vulnerabilities like lack of access to healthcare, low parental support, and unsafe housing increase the risk of SIDS. Infections like gastrointestinal and febrile illnesses increase the risk of SIDS. Brain development. So breast milk provides nutrients that promote brain health and makes babies less vulnerable to SIDS. Metabolites. Some studies have shown that the levels of certain metabolites in the blood may be linked to SIDS. Dad needs to get a grip. Like, what would you do if you accidentally killed your kid? You would never be able to live with yourself. Just listen to your wife. And that goes for a lot of things. I know so many husbands that just don't listen to their wife, and it's just like, why did you choose her then? What are we doing? You don't see her as like a viable partner, like as a human being with intelligence. Like, what are we doing here? Yeah. So yeah, gather up all the news of people accidentally smothering their infant and anything SIDS related. It should scare the F out of your husband. Also, get a grip on your kids in parking lots. 5-year-old and under boys are the greatest dart outs. 100% correct. 100% correct. I know this from firsthand experience. I knew too many families whose kids just run out in back of a truck or in the parking lot. A few years ago, my father-in-law and brother-in-law were in a parking lot shopping, and a little boy was run over. They're both doctors, like my husband, but they couldn't save the little boy. Like the first 5 years, at least, it's just keeping the kid alive. I was just telling my best friend this. I was like, so you know my background. I was like, I've been a babysitter. I've been a nanny. I've worked at a daycare. I've worked at a summer camp. Like kids. Like I know kids like the back of my hands. I don't have kids yet. Do I want kids? Absolutely. But it dawned on me, I think because like that time may be getting closer, you know, of me actually having a kid. And it's like, I've never ever worried about having to keep a kid alive. But I'm like, when I have a kid, I am solely responsible for this human. And for the past 30 something years, it's just been me. Like I've only been responsible for me, but now I have to keep this person alive. And that hit me like a ton of bricks. It's like, oh my God, this is real. What? And then people have to do this on their own? My heart goes out. But yeah, hubby is tripping. I can't imagine. Like, and it has to be frustrating for the wife. Like, even if it wasn't anything related to this particular subject, listen to your partner, or at least like take heed to what they're saying, or take it into consideration. Like, why would you ignore your partner and just push their feelings to the side? That's so disrespectful. But I wish them the best. If y'all know of any stories, I don't even know. I mean, you can share them in the comments, but I hopefully it doesn't get too sad. But I mean, we all have heard of horrible stories of things happening to kids. And a lot of times it's totally preventable, you know? Didn't mean to end this on a somber note, but I'll go ahead and sign off. My name is Seisha. I'll check you out next time. Toodles.